Much has happened, I know. After so many thousands of years, your families have returned to rebuild the Mask Maker's city. It must seem strange. You have only known the region of the jungle. And you, the regions of stone and ice and water. But we are Akotans. And once, this was the center of our world. And now, we have returned. I'm sure you have questions. But wait. First, let me tell you how we came to return to our city. And give you a taste of what may lay ahead. Sit. Once, this was a beautiful city. And I like to think it will be again. But that will depend on more than your parents. It will depend on 6 heroes from another time and place. And it will depend on if they can harness the elements that give our planet life. You know them from the regions where you live. Fire, water, jungle, earth, stone, and ice. For you, they are just corners of our island. But to the Toa, they are lifeblood. But before there was trouble, there was peace. And maybe that's where we should begin. More than 1,000 years ago, this was a peaceful and vibrant place. Our island's 2 protectors, Akimu and his brother Makuta, harnessed the power of the elements and forged them into masks. But Makuta grew jealous of his brother and hungry for the power. So, unbeknownst to his brother Akimu, the jealous Makuta broke a sacred law and created a mask that combined the power of all the elements. He called it the Mask of Ultimate Power. But as the power of the mask surged through Makuta, he became dark and evil. Knowing he had to act quickly, Akimu took the sacred hammer and knocked the mask from the face of his brother. Akimu saved Akoto, but the cost was great. Both Akimu and Makuta were plunged into endless sleep. Our ancestors laid Akimu to rest. The masks, too powerful to be trusted to mortals, were hidden away forever. And after Akimu was sealed into a secret tomb, the Mask Maker's city was abandoned. Although Makuta lay buried deep beneath our island, his spirit remained powerful. He summoned dark forces to find his mask and awaken him. If Makuta's minions managed to awaken him, our island would be plunged into darkness. So we, the Protectors, gathered and performed an ancient rite. Their legend was carved into the walls of our temples, and their names were kept alive in our rituals. These were the Toa, and it would be up to them to save Akoto. The Toa of the jungle, Liwa, was fast on his feet and quick-witted. Like the jungle that gave him his power, he was constantly changing and the most playful of the group. The brooding Pohatu was the most serious of the group. And while the Toa of Stone was rarely happy, he was fearless and powerful. Kopaka, the Toa of Ice, was fearless and strong, but he could be as inflexible and cold as the element that gave him power. Gali was as powerful as the others, but as resilient as the water that was her element. The silent, powerful Anua, the Toa of Earth, would provide a foundation like the earth that gave him power. He was immovable and enduring. There was Tahu, the Toa of Fire, who saw himself as a leader, even before he knew there were others like him. With the help of their protectors, the Toa found The Masks of Power. As they put on the Masks of Power, an ancient prophecy was fulfilled. And for the first time, the Toa experienced the elemental power that each of them was born to wield. The Toa had power, but they needed the wisdom of Akimu. Only he could guide them to their true destiny. The Toa's search for Akimu brought them here, to the Mask Maker's city. But when they arrived, it didn't look like it does now. Then, it was a dark place, overrun with evil creatures, and around every corner lay a trap. And for the first time, in 1,000 years, the footsteps of the living echoed through the Mask Maker's city that we abandoned so many centuries before. One by one, the Toa vanquished the creatures Makuta had sent to stop them, finally defeating the fearsome skull scorpions and reaching Ikimu's tomb. The Toa realized that their history and our planet were entwined. As they looked upon the sleeping Mask Maker, somehow they knew how to awaken him. The 6 heroes had traveled far into the ancient city, defeating many enemies, but only by retrieving the Mask of Creation would Akimu stand a chance against his brother. Makuta's most powerful minions fought to keep the Toa from the Mask Maker's forge, but the Toa were ready, or so they thought. They caught the Skull Grinder before he could destroy Akimu's mask, but the creature was as cunning as he was powerful. And knowing the Toa would stop him from destroying the mask, he put it on, and felt its power surge through him. Filled with the Mask Maker's power, the Skull Grinder knocked the masks from the faces of the Toa. Without their masks, the heroes had lost their power. But they knew they must fight on, even if victory seemed impossible. The heroes fought bravely until they had nothing more to give. But their valiant effort gave Akimu the time he needed. Now wielding his ancient hammer, Akimu took back the Mask of Creation and regained the power he once had. The 6 Toa had done their duty, awakened Akimu, and retrieved the Mask of Creation. But evil was not defeated. Their true fate was still waiting, deep inside the darkness. Prophecy had brought the Toa to Okoto. But what they'd experienced made them more than just heroes. They have become legends. But the challenges that lie ahead are huge. And the future of our entire world is at stake. Their journey begins anew. With their new armor and weapons, forged by the Mask Maker himself, the quest continues as the Toa begin the search for one.